life on this earth was short, but his memory will live forever. It'll live in the memory of his family. Would you raise your hand if you're here? It'll live in the memory of their courageous mother, Beulah May Donald, who courageously agreed to file a lawsuit against America's most dangerous and long-living terrorist group, the Ku Klux Klan. It'll live in the memory of Michael Figures and his family, and Thomas Figure, who lives today, who was a United States Assistant Attorney who stayed on this case until finally the perpetrators were brought to justice. Michael's memory will live on in the lawyers at the Southern Poverty Law Center, Richard Cohen here in the back, who's president of the center, that was the first case he worked on with us, as well as the inspiration that it gives to other young lawyers at the Southern Poverty Law Center as we go forward against those who would violate people's rights, including vicious hate groups from South Carolina to Portland to Idaho. His memory will live also on at the Civil Rights Memorial in Montgomery, Alabama. The idea for the memorial came from the Michael Donald case. And if you come there, you'll see out in front of the Civil Rights Memorial a sculpture that was designed by Mao Lin, who did the Vietnam War Memorial, a sculpture that lists the names and the reasons why 40 people, men, women, and children, gave their lives in the struggle for justice and human dignity during the American Civil Rights Movement. And the focal center point of that museum behind that memorial is a picture in the story of Michael Donald and Mrs. Donald. Out front of that memorial, on a wall that stands behind the naming of those individuals, are the words from the book of Amos, the word that Dr. King used in his famous speech in Washington, D.C., that we shall not be satisfied until justice rolls down like waters. And surely this marker that's being placed here in Mobile, Alabama, will help Michael's memory continue. It'll continue not only in Mobile, but it'll continue across this nation in the hearts and minds of young people and those who seek to do justice. Recently, on Discovery Channel, there was a movie entitled The Last Lynching. Some of you may have seen it. And as I stood there under that same tree that's behind me next to this memorial, that very hard and difficult tree to kill, a camphor tree they call it, as I stood there, I kind of relived that trial and the feelings that I had as Senator Figures and I tried that case. And it was an overwhelming feeling of how small that we were compared to the challenge that we had before us, that for the first time to bring an organization to the bar of justice for the act of its members. And because of the work on that case and the lessons that we learned, we've been able to go after hate groups all over this United States. I hope that each of you will go out there and take a few moments and stand by that historic site where this marker has been unveiled and just reflect on what Michael Donald's life has meant and what it will mean to the rest of this country. I remember so well in closing that argument in federal court here as 6 white jurors sat to decide the fate of our lawsuit, a lawsuit that had no precedent at the time. And I remember words to the effect of saying that return a verdict so that one day when they call out the names of those who gave their lives in the struggle for human dignity, that when they call out the name of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, Valerie Uzo, the 4 little girls who died in Birmingham, render a verdict in this case, render a verdict so that they'll also call out the name of Michael Donald. They did that. We didn't collect $7 million. The Klan didn't have $7 million. We did sell their building, and Mrs. Donald bought the first house she ever owned in her life. And the United Klans of America is no more. And that precedent has helped us put many other hate groups out of business. That's the legacy of Michael Donald. One that won't quit giving and giving and giving. Thank you.